That was a pretty old one. I'm pretty sure my wife brought that one into the marriage.
Oh, so it was your step plunger. Welcome to Then You Ruined It, a podcast where two friends who refuse to meet in real life give each other plenty of reasons to stick to that opinion.
Well, I don't have that many people over for like just hang sessions or whatever, bro time. I don't have that many guy friends, and they definitely don't just come over to hang out. So it's rare when that does happen. And in this case, the reason it happened is my men's Bible study, which was supposed to meet one night. Pretty much everybody just bowed out. And I was like, okay, well then that sounds like it's going to be a night to myself. Which means a night watching some TV show with my wife while she sits in the recliner recovering from her surgery, and I sit all the way across from her on our very comfortable couch and just stare longingly, imagining someday we'll be close again. Seemingly no time soon, but...
Feel for you, but don't make this about you. She had her heart bypassed.
She did, and that's, yes, I will never make that part about me. But come on, it's my podcast. I'm not going to make it about her. This episode is not to be about her. It's about a different her. So, everybody's bowed out. And it sounds like the group is canceled, so nothing's going to happen. And one guy is like, okay, well, I'll still come over and hang if you want. It's like, sure. I have a movie from one of my podcasts because I talk to him about movie podcasts and rewatch things all the time. And he watches some as well. And I told him one of his favorite movies is one that I'm supposed to watch soon, Rocky.
Oh,
never
good
seen
choice.
Rocky.
Good
Yeah,
choice.
would you like to watch Rocky if you come over? He's like, yeah, sure. It's like one of my favorite of all time. I'm happy to watch that again, especially with two people because my wife hadn't seen it either. So I was like, okay, come on over. The kids will get to bed. Well, one kid will get to bed. One will still be up for a while, and we'll watch Rocky. So the family, we're playing Switch because we figured out a way to play it upstairs so my wife can play with us. So we're playing some Switch after dinner like we've been doing for a while. And my daughter had given up the game and said, okay, I'm going to go to the bathroom before I talk to somebody on Discord and play whatever phone game I'll be playing. Because, I mean, that's a way I would have spent an evening as a youth if I had that option. That absolutely. But, you know, we had the dial phones, and actually at the point of her life, of mine, we didn't have the internet.
I had to explain to my son what using a modem to call your friend to play StarCraft was like.
Well, and even that was only after a certain point. It was called, you go over to that kid's house or you invite him over.
Yeah, absolutely. And this all had to be done after midnight when people who might need the phone were asleep.
Oh, the joys, the rigors of childhood for us. No internet, no cell phone to talk to my friend whenever I want, no computer that I got from school that I used to do pretty much whatever I want on.
What did you play Minecraft on? Your TI-86?
Well, no, I got another story there. What?
You ever wonder why my favorite number is 8? Let's see, would it be 80,083? No, 85. I can't remember. No, wait, that would be 58,008. That's it, 58,008. You ever wonder why that's my favorite number, son? Let me show you.
He's left because you just sound addle-minded. No, look, boobs! It's boobs! Oh, man. I lost him.
This is how we got off as kids.
No. There's definitely some questionable things I looked at or watched to get off, but spelling boobs on a calculator is not the one.
Well, la-di-da. Somebody either had better access to National Geographic or not a good enough imagination. I don't know which.
I'd say Wizard Magazine had just enough scantily clad babes and scrambled porn. And HBO.
Yeah, like I said, highfalutin lifestyle you got there. Some of us had to find porn in a gully. If nobody threw away a Playboy that year, you were just typing numbers into calculators, turning them over, and thinking.
I'll tell you, that is the most interesting way as a college age guy to get. It's a good conversation starter. You wouldn't think it is, but having a subscription to Playboy and just like laying it out on your coffee table is you get some interesting replies from women that like just start flipping through. It's like, I always wondered what one of these is like. And like holding up the pictures and being like, do you really find this attractive? You can see her ribs. It's like, I mean,
like, yes, that's the point.
It's not for me at least. But anyways, that is not even close to the point of this story. So I'll take a hard right and come back to that. So my friend comes over and he sees that we're playing the Switch and is like, oh, that looks like fun. I mean, my son, he has to play every video game actively, by which I mean just jumping, just bouncing with his ass on the couch and getting as high as he can while playing. And he's just such an active gamer. And so he sees that and we're like, oh, you want to jump in? You know, my daughter stopped, so you can just play with her controller. Okay. What are the buttons? What does this do? I haven't played one of these in quite some time. It's like, okay, that'll be fun. And so he's getting acclimated to it. And then my daughter hollers from upstairs, Dad, the toilet's overflowing.
Not now, my friend's here.
So I drop everything, run upstairs as fast as my slippers on my feet will carry me, which is not terribly fast, but I'm hoofing it. I get up there and she wasn't lying. She didn't cry wolf. She indeed had flushed the toilet to the point where it would overflow and it was all over the floor and still coming out of the toilet and had soaked everything on the floor and was pooling and she's just standing outside just like, what do we do? It's like, you fix it somehow. Go get towels from this area. So she went and got the towels and she ended up getting my nice towels that I still use. Like, no, not those.
Hasn't this exact situation happened 7 times this calendar year?
No. Luckily, the last time it actually overflowed was at our old house. So it's been since we moved. So it has been last year. And then it was, the biggest problem was we went downstairs. The water was coming through the ceiling, like into our ceiling fan in the kitchen.
Oh, just spreading little globs of turd water all over the kitchen.
Yeah, I mean, I wasn't worried about the turds at that point. I was worried about electrocution or.
Oh, you should always be worried about the turds. Yes, electrocution is also a problem and a concern. But turd electrocution is even worse.
I did search the floor and I don't know if it went down already or whatever, but I saw no poop, which was at least a relief.
Thank Kevin for small miracles.
Start cleaning that up and she, I guess, sees that she's had no effect on it. I can't do anything, so Dad's taking care of it. I'll go downstairs and play video games. So she took my place.
It was her plan.
Brilliant. Well done. You'll be a supervillain someday.
Dad's making a new friend. I'll put an end to that.
I mean, in this case, I saw no poop, so it may have been she clogged it on purpose, but with just tons of paper. There was a lot of paper laying around floating, So I set to clean this up. I get the towels necessary to do that job, and I'm cleaning up as best I can and trying not to get my feet too wet and just, cleaning up the mess as you would. And just thinking to myself, so my friend came over and now he's basically supplanted me as the father while I do the menial cleanup job up here. What the hell has happened?
He's teaching your son where the secret power-ups are and how if you stay still and don't bounce, you actually do better. He's telling your daughter about how to prepare to become a woman.
I mean, if he did that, more power to him, because I'm not even going to touch that one with a 30-foot pole.
He's getting your wife a snack.
Oh, I don't know how your talks with your daughter about becoming a woman have gone. Mine, pretty much if I mention, like, one of your bras is, back behind your bed, please pick it up. Dad, don't talk about those!
Yeah, that's a problem sometimes.
Yeah, I mean, I get it. I don't want to talk about that stuff either, but just telling you to pick up a bra, I don't think is out of line. I should be able to get away with that as your father. But I got all cleaned up. She did kindly come back upstairs. I was like, so? I was like, I got it cleaned up. All these towels are now soaking wet with pee and poop water. She's like, ew. And I'm like, don't say ew. You did this. It's your pee and your poop. I should throw them at you and be like, take care of this and see just what happens. But no, I know it would happen. And I'd have to clean up that mess as well. So it was cleaned up and disinfected. I got the scrubbing bubbles. They are my friend, as always. They smell terrible, but they do the job. So I got them out and, shook the can and sprayed and just watched the bubbles do their work and scrubbed it. And I felt like that was a good enough clean of the floor. And then I used disinfecting wipes to wipe off my slippers because those have been walking around in it.
You didn't take them off?
Well, at first I couldn't because I would have been in socks, and that's way worse. So
Oh, yeah.
I was
Okay,
like,
fair.
this is keeping my feet dry, and I'll clean them off later and not worry about that right now. So it was especially odd because I knew my wife couldn't help it all, and I didn't expect her to. But in these situations, before, that's what would have happened is I would have gotten her, and she would have either had a stern talking to with my daughter while I'm cleaning up, or she would have like played goalie and make sure she gets back in the game and comes to help me. But in this case, I just had to, report to her once I was finally done, which took like an hour. And playing games down there, and it's like, oh, are you done now? Is it time to continue with the night as it was advertised?
Yeah, that's got to be like the strangest not conversation, but like the most awkward way to spend an hour, just playing games with another man's child.
Yes, while he cleans up an overflowed toilet. So, oh man, ugh.
So it seems like this is going to keep happening. Like we thought it was a phase, or maybe something to do with the poor plumbing in your old place, but apparently this is just a thing that you're going to have to deal with. Have you sat your daughter down and had a postmortem after one of these?
I mean, we talked extensively about this one. I told her, flush once. If it's going down, give it time, but maybe you can flush again. But if it is still up at the top or going that way, do not flush again.
So you've established that she flushes too soon. She prematurely flushulates.
So I was guilty of this at a certain time too. I didn't know how a toilet operates. As a plebeian, you'd think, okay, I'll flush the toilet to get the poop and the pee to go away. And then, if it hasn't gone away, I flush again. So I get where that mindset comes from. So I had to abuse her of that and be like, no, you flush once and then you stop. She's like, but sometimes it gets clogged. I'm like, yes. And that is when you should get me and we will deal with it together. He's like, but you told me if I do that, I'm going to get in trouble too. It's like, you're right. In the, unfortunately, like 30 times this has happened, I have told you different things because my brain ain't what it used to be. Just listen to me now. Come get me. We'll deal with the poop together. It's like, that's weird. I'm like, yep. Welcome to I overflow the toilet on the reg.
Have you sat her down and been like, when I was your age, me and Grandma used to tackle the turds together.
Old turd tackler, that's what they called me.
She had me reach down in there and I was up to my shoulder and she was just mopping. We saved the farmstead that day.
No, I wish I had stories like that I could share so I could, relay my knowledge in that way. But I honestly don't remember ever clogging the toilet. Given what I ate every day, that's saying something.
I'm trying to think if I did. And I don't think I did either. Apparently our generation just pooped better.
I think there's some validity to toilets not working as efficiently as they used to.
Oh, that could be. All this low flow crap. If there's one thing that we should not skimp on, it's removing the fecal matter from the house.
Yes. And again, I looked all over and did not see the fecal matter, so I don't know what clogged it. That was like the only saving grace is that the water that was coming out was basically clear. It wasn't yellow, it wasn't poop floating in it. There was paper, but it was just clear. So question why that clogged then and what the hell's going on, but I did not have to deal with turds floating by, just being like, oh, hey, Jason's here. Hey.
How's your friend doing?
It's the turds.
Does he want pizza rolls? Have you had a plumber or a septic company come and do like a endoscopy of your pipes and shoot a camera down there to see?
I have not, no. I think it's really just user error, and that's also on the part of the plunger. Like, I've shown her how to use the plunger, but we got a brand new plunger, and man, that tells me how much the old plunger was part of the problem. Because it cracked, so that's why we had to get a new one. And so I got one that's as close to it as possible. And I don't want to get into like connoisseur of plungers, but it's like the bulb type. I know you want to say something, but I'm talking about some plungers here. So just let me go. I'm cooking a very weird meal, but it may go down smooth.
Carry on. Keep going. I'll talk later when it's my turn.
So we got the new plunger, and the first time I had to plunge one of her turds, I was like, I plunged once and just shot right through. I was like, okay, so that was the problem. And I think that's what she convinced herself. It's like, this plunger is so magical, it will do it for me. Wait, why is the water coming back? No, we had an agreement.
Wait, does she plunge every poop? That doesn't make sense. Plunger being used means you've already gone too far. It doesn't solve the problem. It just relieves the symptoms, right? It keeps it from escalating. If you are using the toilet so much that you have to replace the one that wore out, you need to get that kid to a doctor.
Agreed. If that was the case, yes, but I think it's that was a pretty old one. I'm pretty sure my wife brought that one into the marriage.
Oh, so it was your step plunger.
I mean, if we did get it, then it makes sense because, everybody at that point had seen my eating habits. It's like, you're going to need this.
No, if they'd seen your eating habits, they would have got you the good kind.
Maybe a bidet. I'd love to try one of those out.
Well, why are you wiping your butt with the plunger? Why is that a replacement? Those are opposite tools.
It's not a replacement. I'm just saying if somebody wanted to get me something to assist with bathroom anything, then get me a bidet. Not a plunger that I can use more effectively.
I don't want no $20 plunger. Get me a $300 bidet, people. Come on.
I mean, if you want to show you truly love me.
They don't. They just don't want you getting poop all over the place. Thank you for joining us for another episode of Then You Ruined It. If you enjoy our flavor of nonsense, please like and subscribe wherever you found us. And please share with your friends and cooler family members.